Being an indie developer is hard. We all know this. In this video, I'm going to be as transparent as I can because I wish this info was out there a decade ago when I started. I think I still would have done indie development, but I might have approached it a little bit differently. So, what I'm going to do is break down in as much detail as I can without breaking any NDAs or laws, how much I earn and where I earn it, and also how much time I work. Spoiler, it's a lot. Another spoiler, you'll need to supplement your income somehow. So let's get into it. My games that I've made for my studio are going to be playing in the background of the video as I talk. If you want to support me, check those out in the links below on Steam, as well as my recently opened Patreon page. More on that a little bit later. I love my job, and I love being able to make the worlds that I want to make and to create the universes I want to see exist. But we have to eat, and food is pricey. We have bills to pay, and the money can be tight, especially if you don't want to take on additional work. If someone asked me today if you could go back and redo it, what would I say? I'm not so sure. I wish I knew how hard it would be sometimes. But to be fair, I think this applies to all walks of life. I don't think there is an easy path out there. A great benefit to being an indie as well is being able to control your own schedule, because at the end of the day, freedom is priceless. So, to actually get into it, firstly, how much do I work and what do I work on? Well, I work around 10 hours a day. Some days more like 13, other days 15, depending on the project and if I need to meet a deadline. Sitting for this long can be very detrimental to your health, so it's important to get up and take breaks. But this isn't a health video, so let's get back into the finances. I do a number of things for money, namely, number 1, indie game development for my own studio, which is called Aligned Games. Number 2, indie game development for freelance clients and other studios. And this is mostly 3D development. Number 3, create and sell digital assets on different asset stores. Number 4, I run 2 YouTube channels. These are not making any money yet. Number 5, Patreon. This also is not making any money yet. Number 6, I have a part-time business outside of game development, but it is still in the computing realm. So, to get into the details, firstly, the game development. I have created and am selling a number of games. I've been doing this for over a decade now, and in that time, I have built up a large library of assets, code, and services. I am now entering an era of development where I will be pumping out games twice a year instead of every few years. This is very valuable, but it takes a lot of time to achieve. Right now, I am actively selling 4 games on Steam, with one that is free to play, but I have many more coming. So, how much does that make? I make about 200 to 400 USD per month on Steam with this, if you average it out. Now the tricky thing is, that number might climb to $10,000 one month after a release, but then it can drop to $50 US only a few months later, so you have to average it out. There is a lot I can say about this, but I'll keep it frank, as there is more to discuss with the other income sources. The trick here is to get multiple games up for sale and to improve a little bit each time. You'll have heard this before, but make small games. So next up, we have the other side of this, client and freelance work. This is my biggest income source, and it is vital to have if you want to survive. I have been doing client work for around 10 years now, and I have had over 20 clients in that time. The trick here is to try and sustain long-term client relationships. I have worked for indie and AA studios in this time, as well as individual clients. This nets me about $600 US per month, which is an okay amount for the time spent. My average hourly rate on this is not bad, but again, it will take time to prove yourself and to work up that hourly rate to be a good one and to get to a good point. It can be very hard to find good clients. There is a lot of noise out there. Then, another way I make money through video game development is selling digital assets. These include a number of things: 3D art and scenes, 2D stuff like interface or sprites, audio effects and music, scripts, templates, systems, and even full games. Now, as with the others, this can take a really long time to build up, but I do believe that there is a lot of potential here, and for me, one thing that I really love with this is the fact that it is something different, so it sort of revitalizes my energy and it's a little bit different, so it gives me a bit of motivation. One day I'll be doing assets, the next day I'll be doing games, and this way I can keep it fresh. I have also been doing this for over a decade. My main store is on the Unity Asset Store, but there are many different stores where you can sell assets. Maybe in the future I'll do a video to talk about these different stores. Let me know if you think that would be valuable to know and to have that information. As for the actual amount of money that I make with this, it can vary a lot, but it's about 200 to 500 USD per month. My main stores are the Unity Asset Store and Sketchfab, which is now soon going to be turning into Fab. Moving on to the ways that I hope to make money in the future, but aren't yet making money with these, and these are YouTube and Patreon. So I run two YouTube channels. One is this one, and the other one is a PC hardware channel, which has to do with my other job, which is a PC building and selling business. But that doesn't contribute to game development revenue, so I won't count it here officially. If you are curious, that for that job I make about $300 to $500 per month. So as for the YouTube, I mentioned that it doesn't contribute yet, but it hopefully will in the near future. I plan to earn around $100 per month with this channel in the next year or so, which will hopefully grow slowly over time. That's the plan anyway. Then lastly, my Patreon. I just recently opened my Patreon because I think that over time it can grow to be another main income generator. I plan to give away free assets and games and have people support me through Patreon that way. I have already made one of my multiplayer games free on Steam and posted it there. Check it out and support me if you can afford to. That would go a long way towards me getting that up and running. I plan to earn another $100 to $300 per month in the next few years on Patreon. So, let's summarize my earnings. These are all averages, so not perfectly accurate, but in the ballpark. I earn about $200 to $400 per month on Steam at this point. I earn about $600 per month through freelance and client work at this point. I earn about $200 to $500 per month on the asset stores at this point. I hope to earn about $100 to $300 per month through YouTube for this channel in the next few years. I earn around $300 to $500 per month with my side business, which is building and selling PCs with its own YouTube channel, which will also hopefully make around $200 to $300 per month in the future, because that one has a good niche. So all in all, I make about $1,200 to $1,400 per month. That is not much if you consider how much I work and how hard I work, but I believe in my strategy, and I believe that in time I can get to where I want to go with this. If my plans work out and my revenue grows on Steam and my asset stores as well as my Patreon, and if I reach monetization here and with my other channel, I'll make around $1,800 to $2,200 per month. I'll never be rich, but I think I'll always be happy. We have to find the balance in life that we are satisfied with, and mine is passion driven. It is what it is. This is what I believe I was meant to do. Now, I don't want you to see this and think, wow, okay, that's easy, I'll just do that. Because trust me when I say, it isn't. It took me 10 years to get to where I am now, and I am way behind most people my age. technically I am not earning enough money. If you are looking at this from a purely financial perspective, I have to tell you that there are many other ways to make a lot more money with a lot less time investment. But if you are looking at it from a passion perspective, I'll say this. Even if I have to live in a shack to keep doing this, I would. Because I believe it's my calling and it makes me happy. I love it and I will always do it, at least to some extent. But it is not easy. In fact, it might be one of the hardest things you'll ever do if you do decide to do it. But if you love it, do it anyway. Are you interested in starting out with video game development? If so, great. Make sure you have a long-term plan and see a vision for your future. And be sure to reach out to me if you need any advice or if you have any ideas. Having a passion is great, but you need the vision to make that passion a business and to succeed in the face of the harsh indie landscape. It really isn't that easy. Thanks for watching. Please follow along and learn with me as we go on this indie journey. If you'd like to support me, links to my Steam, Studio and Patreon will be down below. If you have any questions, please drop them below and I'll definitely send you a response. Like and subscribe for more as we traverse and try to survive this indie dream together. Until next time, keep believing.